Hello and welcome to MGP number 314. I'm Kev, and with me this week we have Anna and Pab. Say hello, boys and girls.
Hello.
Hello. We're sat in a hotel room down in London. Well, you can. When was the last time I did the intro able to look at you? It must be. It must be 2 years at least since we were. You've never really done it microphoned up in the same room as us.
No.
We usually do it on camera when we're doing it on location, but we're actually trying to be professional and do things properly with actual microphones sat in a hotel room. But, Anna, I'm looking at you.
Why?
Because I'm enjoying Sheepdog not being in the room. Sheepdog's not here. We're down in London for MCM Comic Con, October 2018. And we thought we should probably do a podcast while we're down here, because there's been not only the stuff that we've done down at Comic Con, but there's been some gaming shenanigans since we last did a show. 'Cause we didn't do a show last week, did we?
No.
So we've got last week to catch up on. Plus, there's the small matter of Red Dead Redemption 2 has been released that we should probably have a little bit of a chat about, bearing in mind that's quite a big deal, I understand. It's such a big deal that when me and Pab were wandering around London yesterday, we noticed that it had pretty much taken over Piccadilly Circus. The whole boards in there were just Red Dead Redemption 2. It was being advertised everywhere across London, wasn't it? You couldn't move for Red Dead Redemption 2 posters. I don't know I've ever seen such an intense advertising campaign. It's just out in the wild. No, not out in the wild like that. Maybe online and in places where we hang about, but just wandering around the city, it was literally everywhere. It was the poster in the tubes. It was Piccadilly Circus. It was in the window of Argos. It was just everywhere.
And you'd think this game is going to sell itself anyway. It doesn't need to do that. It really doesn't need to do a thing. It could have not been announced and said it's out, and it would have sold just as much.
It is mad. They're properly going for it.
Yeah,
I wonder how much money they have we seen any reports? Because I know when Halo 4 was released, they were talking about it being the most expensive ad campaign that had ever been done for a video game at the time.
I mean, it's Rockstar. They always do go big, don't they?
But it's extraordinary. It'll be interesting to see if it's still everywhere in a couple of weeks' time. And I haven't really watched any TV. I don't know. Is there TV adverts for it?
Yes, I think I have seen a TV advert for it. Yeah.
So Anna's the only one who's played it.
Have.
Because me and Pab, when we come to Comic Con, we're monsters, and we've come down here and we actually went to Comic Con yesterday, didn't we? But whereas Anna has brought a PlayStation 4, a 32-inch TV, and a copy of Red Dead Redemption 2, and sat in the hotel room yesterday.
Digital.
It's a digital copy. But for research purposes only, you took one for the team and you spent the day in the hotel yesterday.
It's the best day.
Playing Red Dead Redemption 2. So would you like to tell us about Red Dead Redemption 2?
Well, I'm only playing on a standard PlayStation 4.
Oh, you poor Anna. Everyone get your tiny violins out for Anna. Not only is she playing on a standard PlayStation 4, but it's an old TV that only does 720p as well.
So I can't comment on if it's pretty, because it does. It looks like it could have come out at the same time as the first one. Like, you get annoyed. So you tell me which one came up previous to this one.
Well, Red Dead Redemption. You could just say Red Dead Redemption. I just get annoyed when people say it's the second one, when it's the third one. It frustrates me.
Yeah, so it's Red Dead Redemption 2, but it's the third game.
I'm also... Right, while we're on this, because I'm also annoyed that the reason Red Dead 2 was called Red Dead Redemption was because it was a redemption story for something that had happened in the past. The thing that happened in the past is what's happening in Red Dead Redemption 2. It's a prequel to Red Dead Redemption. How can it be Red Dead Redemption 2? Because it's supposed to be... It's a redemption story for this stuff that happened. It makes no... Naming conventions, it's upsetting me.
It's a way to get John Marsden in the game. That is it.
But Just call it something else. It was Red Dead Redemption because it was his redemption story. Now, presumably, he's a bad guy again.
Who?
John Marsden. Because he was redeeming himself for his bad actions that he'd done in the past.
But
that was the story of Red Dead Redemption. He'd been a total scumbag and was redeeming himself.
Well, you don't play as John in this one. You play as Arthur.
That's a cowboy name and a half.
Well,
Arthur.
I've literally only played on the PS4, not the Pro. I saw like 10 seconds on the Pro, and it did look really good. So I am going to start it again when I get home because the snow physics are excellent. They are the best snow physics I have ever seen. Like the walking in it, the fact that I just thought, I've seen a tree. Let's see if it actually, because they say they've got all these little details. I went past the tree and the snow fell off it, just like it would do in real life.
Give me the money. That's all I need.
But you don't have that normally. Like, you'd see it, you just go past it, it would stay on there, it would be static. This actually has physics applied to the snow that some people would never even touch, but it's there.
And other people just don't really care about.
Oh, they do.
I don't care about it.
No, you don't, but I do, yes.
How much are you restarting then? How many hours?
About 6.
Okay.
I don't know how.
I don't think I can do that.
Right, because yesterday
Why are you restarting? Can't you just take the save and play it on the
PlayStation.
on your Pro?
I need PlayStation.
Can't you just put it on a USB drive and just move the save?
Well, if you could help me do that, then that would be fine. But I don't know how to do it without
That's a thing
PlayStation
you can
Plus,
do, isn't it?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
I'd have to Google that, but yeah,
if
maybe.
You can't do that. So what happens if you buy a new PlayStation and you want to move?
Yeah,
Well, you
PlayStation Plus, and it'll cloud save it.
Yeah, that's why I won't buy PlayStation Plus, because I just don't want it, because I don't have. Yeah. Anyway, so yesterday I was going along with the story, but then I ended up elsewhere, and kind of so that say this is I don't know. I started over here on the left. I ended up on the right, and just started doing things in the right that I shouldn't have done. I should have got.
What was it out of your level?
I shouldn't have been where I was. Yeah, but it wasn't out of my level, but I shouldn't have been where I was.
So you wandered off the beaten path.
How unusual and surprising for Anna. Who would have thought that you might have disregarded the story and wandered off and done your own thing?
I did. I just wanted to go and see and look and have, because the map apparently is different environments. So I wanted to go and see how the environments differed. So off I went.
At least you've only bought one copy of the game, unlike some people.
How many copies you bought?
I've only bought one so far.
And how many are you buying today?
I'm buying an Xbox today. Simply because I woke up this morning and started reading Twitter at 5:30 or something like that. And someone said they are starting again on Xbox One X because after playing 12 hours on PlayStation, they're going back buying on Xbox because it is that much heads and above.
Yeah, I can.
And I can't live with that inside, knowing that I've got an Xbox One X sat there,
right,
and it is kind of killing me inside that I've got a PlayStation version.
Well, we don't have an X, do we?
No, I mean,
so
I do have an Xbox One copy sat on my desk at home, though.
Apparently, the standard Xbox is the worst version.
We've got an S.
That's the base one now.
Oh, is it?
I watched after reading that tweet. I then went on digital phone and watched a half-an-hour video on it. Apparently, that PlayStation, the PlayStation Basic, will do 1080p.
Yep.
1080p 30. The Xbox One S, which is the base now, 800p.
And what was I playing yesterday?
So my
720p.
my launch day Xbox One that's sat in my garage.
I don't even know what that'll do. It'll just spit it out and go, get a new console, Grandad.
So I'll just steal the S. I might buy an X.
But even so, like I say, the S, which is the base console now, is still only 864p or something like that.
What's the Pro at then?
It's not native 4K. The X is native 4K. It's 21 something, so it's above 1080.
Right.
But it's in between.
Okay.
I don't really know why I'm worrying, because I've not got a 4K TV to play it on.
I
Well,
do.
you only need 1080p.
You've got the plasma.
If you got that one, you'll be fine.
So I need to take Anna's PlayStation. You can have my Xbox copy. If I buy you an Xbox One X so you can play it in 4K on your 4K TV.
You're a funny boy.
What, you wouldn't play it on Xbox even though it's twice the resolution?
No, because we don't have an X.
But if I got you one...
I don't want an X. I don't like Xbox.
Utterly mad.
I like my PlayStation. I bought that PlayStation. Like,
yeah, I think most people buy their consoles, unlike Pab, who wins them and then gets on a podcast.
I had to prepay that and not pre, you know.
Kev said to me at breakfast, don't tell Anna that, because it'll just...
I don't want one.
And then I said, I think Anna's in PlayStation camp. She's not going to be bothered.
No, it doesn't bother me in the slightest.
I did say I was a little bit worried that the fact that we were on different consoles meant I wouldn't be able to shoot everybody's horses. At which point, Pab told me the online doesn't even exist yet.
No, not till November.
And I don't know whether that November is the beta or there's a beta coming out pretty soon after release, and then in November is the full release.
I don't understand why.
What if
it not just
GTA
in
5
there?
was the same?
But
Exactly, and that was why I never played GTA Online, because I'd finished with the game by the time it came out.
That's the thing. They're not based on everything. It might have changed now, but based on stuff I'm listening to from a few weeks ago, they are saying it's more based on the Red Dead multiplayer than the GTA multiplayer.
The Red Dead multiplayer was awesome.
So if they're just taking bits from the GTA multiplayer, but mainly focusing it around like the Red Dead kind of multiplayer.
But no one's going to play with you, Kevin, because you're horrible to people.
What, I just want to shoot their horses?
No, that's not very nice. That's why I won't play with you.
Well, we're on different consoles. You can't play with me.
I can go out and buy another copy. I do have a Xbox in the... We've got... Be fine.
But I'll just shoot your horse anyway.
I don't want to play
Headshot
with you.
your horse.
And you've got PlayStation 4.
Well, he's getting rid of it to get his
getting
Xbox
Oh,
on.
okay.
Yeah.
Mean.
Me and Pab on Team Xbox. Sheepdog's going to
We
be loving
sold-
this
we- I
listening to
sold
because
Sheepdog out.
Yeah,
I sold
Sheepdog's
him
got
out.
the PlayStation version, and me and Pab are going to have it on Xbox. Ha ha, Sheepdog. That's what you get for ruining Super Mario Party for us 2 nights in a row.
Well, it was...
We'll get onto that in a little while. Once we're done, we have finally all sat down and played Super Mario Party. But do we have any closing thoughts on Red Dead Redemption before we move on to it?
if you liked the previous ones, play this one.
Even though the naming is screwy.
I don't really know what people are looking for. I just thought...
We're looking for Grand Theft Auto 2.
I got in a fight. Don't go full pelt on your horse into a tree, because everything goes flying. Like I was going, like down the track, hit a tree, and the stuff I was carrying, like the bird, the rabbit, and the bear skin, fell away.
That's already become a meme. I've seen that on Twitter already. Have you seen
Yeah,
this?
I've seen many people like going into the sides of barns and
because
just falling off.
Because normally in games you would just go and there'll be trees, but they wouldn't hurt you as much as these do. My horse got knocked out, and
well, I guess if you're looking at it from a realism perspective, if you're going full gallop on a horse into a brick wall, it's going to hurt the horse.
This was a tree.
I think it has the
I
same
know,
effect.
but in previous games you could go through trees and it would knock you a bit, but it full pelt into a tree.
Yeah, don't ride horses into trees,
I feel
kids.
like they're going much more into realism.
Yeah,
this time.
definitely much.
I mean, stuff I've seen of like you polish your guns off. And
Yes,
you
done that.
It's like the minutiae of
You need
cowboying.
You need actual gun oil to get it.
Polishing no guns.
And you can only carry the guns you've got with you. You can't just...
Yeah,
You don't have the magical video
Yeah,
game.
you put guns on your horse, and you have to go and
Oh,
get them
no.
off the horse if you want to use the big gun.
so you have to pick it.
Oh,
You have to
it's
store
the
it on the
end of
horse.
magical video game bag.
Yeah, so
that you can put a couple of missile launchers in.
You were pulling
Indeed.
them out your pants.
Put my
Yeah,
power armor in my magical bag.
that is a thing. So it is very realism, but as long as you you know how you get the information in the corner about what you're supposed to be doing, as long as you take notice of them and read them, because I still don't know how to put my gun away, so I'm galloping and my gun's out.
That's why the horse is running into trees. It's got a gun pointed at the back of its head. Don't shoot! Don't shoot! I know how I can get rid of them. I'm going into this tree.
I don't know how to put it away. So they're like, because sometimes you're with people that try and talk to me and I can't press this button because every time I press it, I shoot. And oh my god, the controls. I have this game's made me dead twice because I accidentally shot someone. Because
made you dead?
Yeah, made me dead. Because I was trying to talk to someone and didn't realise my gun was out, so I pressed the button and I shot them, and then the police come. And he did it like, when the police come, it's a wanted level like GTA. And I didn't see the information in the corner saying press triangle and then you can surrender, and I shot everyone, so they all shot me and I died twice because of that thing. So get grips with the controls. But I'll start it again at like 9 o'clock tonight for a few hours.
You're at work at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning.
So we've had an extra hour today.
And Anna on Thursday night, Friday morning, was it, when the game came out? She went to bed at like 9 o'clock.
Yep.
Set an alarm for midnight, got up at midnight, played the game until like 3 a.m, went back to bed and then went to uni at 8 o'clock the next morning.
Yep.
This is commitment to playing. So in addition to the 6 hours she's done here, you've done 3 hours at home as well?
But that was very slow, 3 hours. Like, I was getting grips with the game. But
Because you were probably half asleep.
I just like... Everyone's like, oh, it's because I felt ill, really ill on Friday. I was like, it's because you got up. It's not. I don't know what was up with me. I think I had something dodgy. But, yeah... I would have played it on Friday night when we got here, but I just didn't feel very well. So I would have got more
Plus, me and Pab hadn't got the TV out of the car until Saturday morning. So you'd have to played it on the TV. Which, by the way, Pab, hope you're feeling muscly this morning. You're carrying that TV back out to the car soon. Okay. I've got these microphones to carry.
Yeah.
Oh, diddums.
Yeah, well, look, it's two. You can't see for it. For once, we're not doing a video version when we're all together, but it's two relatively large cases full of equipment that I've got to carry out to the car.
The less than A4 size.
Yeah, but they're heavy. This has got 16 minutes of podcast to put in it, so if I've got to carry all that data around.
Well, no, what should happen is hotels should have bigger TVs for me. Because what the hubs do, the hubs were lovely.
Let's not bite the hand that feeds. All pavilions are lovely.
They are lovely, but that's too small.
It's a great TV in a great hotel chain. Anna.
Okay,
it's great. Just say it's great.
It's great, but it's too high.
No, there's no but. It's great. Everything about this room is perfect. It couldn't be improved. Premier Inn are great.
Except the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi. So, last 2 nights while we've been sat together in the hotel bar, we have kept ourselves amused.
Because Kevin didn't bring any games.
You have to get that close to the microphone. You just burst my eardrums. I apologise for Anna bursting eardrums. The reason, I forgot to bring board games. I was going to bring some board games, but actually it's worked out quite well because you'll remember like a month ago when Super Mario Party came out, we bought it, played it for 5 minutes, and then never touched it again. And all we've had on the podcast covering this so far is Sheepdog raging about not being able to use completely inappropriate controllers with it. I can't use my golf club attachment with Super Mario Party, or words to that effect. It won't let me use my PlayStation controller. But we've put it through its paces the last couple of nights, the three of us. And the first night, I really didn't like it. Not just because I was rubbish at it, and I was rubbish at it. If you're not familiar with the concept of Mario Party, which I wasn't, it's basically a board game that you roll a dice, move around the board collecting coins, and use the coins to buy stars, and whoever has the most stars at the end of the game wins. And you generate more coins by mini games. At the end of every turn, you have a mini game where you can win a bunch of coins, and if you don't have enough coins, you can't buy stars, etc., etc., etc. Well, I finished our 10-turn, hour-long game on Friday night with two coins, I think, and no stars.
Yeah,
I finished last in every mini game. Bearing in mind, you have to have 4 players, so it was the 3 of us and AI Sheepdog. And AI Sheepdog beat both me and Pab on Friday night.
No, I got enough
coins.
Oh,
you got above him, did you?
Yeah, I got enough.
Okay, but I was absolutely rubbish, and I still maintain it was mainly because I couldn't really see, because we were sat around a table and I was kind of looking at it side on and didn't really know what I was doing, and it wasn't until towards the end of the game that I was finally getting to grips with it. This game is very wordy and slow to get up and running, but really doesn't explain what's going on very well either. So it took me a little bit, because I've never played.
Yeah, but the mini games have mini games, don't they?
Yeah, I thought it was just a mini game fest. I didn't realise there was an actual
point
to it.
The whole board game aspect. Yeah.
But then when we played it again last night, I started to get into it a little bit more. We were sat in a much more sensible arrangement.
So you in the middle and me and him at the side.
Yeah, so I could see what was going on. Obviously, this is going to be better in docked mode on an actual TV. So
do you want to tell them what you did
Yeah, I think
while
so.
setting up?
I may have dunked Anna's Joy-Con into a cup of coffee, a cappuccino, no less. But it was fine.
If I get it out today,
Public service
and it
announcement.
doesn't work.
You can dunk Joy-Cons in Costa cappuccinos, pull them out, wipe them off on your shirt, and they work absolutely fine for at least an hour afterwards.
Yeah, my one of my buttons wasn't working.
You don't need all the buttons.
Yes, I do.
It was the blue one, so it was basically just a D-pad anyway. What do you need a D-pad for in this day and age? You've got an analog stick. It was the blue one. When you're playing with the...
It doesn't matter, Kevin.
Exactly, it doesn't matter.
What
So-
side it goes on?
Well, you
I'll
don't
just
use
take
those buttons.
yours.
I think not. I'll buy you one. I mean, I'm not having a dirty coffee-covered Joy-Con. I'll buy you a new one.
But the thing was, you dropped it and then looked at it.
Oh, I needed to know where it was so I could get it out of the coffee again. No one else retrieved it either.
But you did it earlier.
I'm the one who got it out of the coffee. Anyway, Mario Party.
Don't you start.
Just remembering it all.
Yeah, Pab
Like
nearly wet
slow
himself in a hotel bar. But, mister, it was like slow motion. You weren't in there pulling it out of the coffee, were you?
What, would you prefer me to get it out of your coffee?
The coffee did taste funny afterwards. It tasted all plasticky. So there's definitely something in that controller that melted. But Anna's face now is remarkable. But I mean, the game is fine. I understand.
I won both times.
Yeah, playing. Yeah. Oh, we'll get to that in a minute. Playing it second time around, actually understanding what was going on, it was a lot easier to enjoy because I wasn't constantly trying to figure out what was happening. But because it's a Nintendo game, similar to Mario Kart, it does have the whole, yes, this game is pointless because whoever's in the lead can finish last just by something random happening thing that happens at the end. Because we played through again for an hour or so, got to the end, and me and Anna both had 2 stars. I had slightly more coins. Pab had 1 star. AI Sheepdog had 1 star, I think, but Pab had more coins than him. So going at the end of the rounds, I was winning. I had the same amount of stars as Anna, but more coins, so I was in first place. But then it starts random, and this is something Sheepdog did talk about on the podcast when he was moaning about it. It randomly starts hurling stars out. First, it gives us another star to Anna for random reasons, so she's gone into the lead. And then it has another star where it randomly gives 1 each to Anna and Pab. So Anna now has 4. Pab's moved up to 2 stars now, but has more coins than me. So he's moved past me as well.
Yep.
So despite me finishing the game in first place, after all the random nonsense had happened at the end, I ended up finishing 3rd. I was distraught. How can they justify that?
That's Mario Party.
But
Simple
what's
as
the
that.
point?
That's the fun of it.
That's not fun.
The game is not done until they have assigned all the coins, so you're nowhere near finished. You think you've finished there, but you aren't.
Yeah, because I had the dice to throw, and then I had that bomb with me that would take turns off me. So I could roll like a 1. It would roll a mark because it only had -1s and 0s. And then I end up with 1, so that's why I got the slowpoke one because I kept getting turns taken off me. But we were playing the short version of the game. There's is it 10 turns?
There's a 10 turn, 15 turn, 20 turn, I think. And the 10 turn one takes about an hour.
There's a 30 one. There's one of the maps does 30 turns as well.
But it's a fun game. I can certainly
That's
see.
30 mini games in one
Effectively,
session.
yeah.
Wow.
Because we've only scratched the surface on those mini games. I think there's 80 mini games in this.
Loads, yeah.
And we've only played 20.
Yeah, we
of
never
them.
got to the rowing one again, did we?
A lot of the games, it usually do like everyone for themselves, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There was occasionally like 2v2 or a 3v1.
Yeah.
There's so many of them different games that do that. I mean, I'm surprised that it only did like probably half a dozen of them. I feel like
There was one where me and Anna had to work together to try and wrap string around nails, basically.
That was
and
insane.
She almost punched me in the neck.
I wanted to punch Virtual Sheepdog in the neck because he was an idiot.
He is an idiot.
Well,
But then
yeah.
I got to play with the AI without blocking the 2 halves together and won that one because the AI.
Yeah, I've discovered Pab has no spatial awareness. Me and Pab basically had two sides of a of a Tetris block, basically, and had to rotate them around so that we could then clip them together perfectly. And every time it would be, right, boing, mine's perfectly clipped on, and Pab's there going...
So what he had to do, and what he basically just did then, all he did was flip it on its back and went, there you go, put it in there.
Yeah.
So I had to work to his specifications.
Yes.
It wasn't just me.
No, it doesn't work like that.
It does work like that.
Oh, it does.
I had to rotate it all round to wherever he was, however he
Well, if we're
tipped it.
both rotating at the same time, that's just not going to work, is it?
It didn't work.
But it was good fun, and I can certainly see how... Get this on a TV so everyone can really see properly. Get 4 people playing rather than one virtual sheepdog. And I think this would be great fun. I'm looking forward to playing this at Christmas, getting it set up on the TV, having a whale of a time. You're coming to us for Christmas, aren't you, Pam?
Not if we play Mario Party, no.
I see. Just because you're afraid of losing to me again.
You lost both now.
No,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, the game is over before they start doing the
Yeah, but the
random
night
stuff.
before it gave you stars.
No, it didn't. That's right. That was the other thing as well. A couple of turns before the end, it then gives a helping hand to somebody. So last night, Anna was way back in last place with like 2 turns to go, and it gave her this massive boost to help her catch up. The night before, Anna was in the lead with a couple of turns to go, and I was way back in last place, and it gave Anna a boost to help her pull even further out in the lead.
Even for going through the game, you pick up like characters, and they give you extra. So like you would hit your dice, and then they will hit their dice, and then they combine. On the first night, I had 4 dices.
The allies are a big
Yeah,
help in this
I had
game.
4
I
of
never got
them.
any of them either.
Yeah, I thought it would replace the ally you had. No, it just stacked the allies up there. So
stacked
effectively,
them.
I had 4 rolls of the dice every time.
Stupid game.
And I won twice, both nights.
Right, have we got any more games that we want to discuss before we discuss gaming at Comic Con? Because they've gone full in on gaming at Comic Con this year.
I have got DC Lego Villains.
Is that what it's called?
DC Lego I don't know.
Is it villains or super
It's
villains?
villains.
yeah.
Super villains.
Tell us all about it.
So I got this from Warner Brothers.
Never heard of them.
Thank you. And basically you are...
Can I just clarify, because I did read the contract. Anna got this for free from one. We have to say the word free.
I got it for free from Warner Brothers. And you basically start the game. You are a villain.
I would imagine so.
I can't remember who started it because it was like the other day. But so basically, what happens is you're a villain. You're the Joker and Harley, and you're in Wayne Towers. Is that what it's called?
Sounds about right.
Industries. And basically, you nick a bunch of stuff, and so who are them other people? What are they called?
The Justice Society from Earth 2.
Yeah. So from Earth 3, apparently.
Oh, was it Earth 3?
Yeah, they came from Earth 3, and so they turn up, and the superheroes from our world turn up, and somehow send them to Earth 3, and the ones from Earth 3 stay with you, and basically they're villains. They're also villains, so the super villains are now trying to take out the villains from Earth 3, and it's a whole big hoo-ha. You've got
A hoo-ha?
A hoo-ha.
Wowzers.
So the world is set up in different sections. So you've got Gotham. Because I've only been to, so you got Gotham, Metropolis. Is that Superman?
This is some solid comic book knowledge you got.
I don't know. I'm not very comic-y. But so I've been to them 2 worlds, and they're all very different in like stylized. So you have got Gotham, it's very dark and gritty, and then you go on a cable car. You're on Devil Transport.
Ugh.
And you go up, and then you're in like Metropolis, which is all clean cut and nice and just jolly.
Super, some
yeah.
might say.
And yeah, so you're playing as a villain. There's a bunch of villains that have turned up I've never heard of. Kevin was side-eyeing it because he was like, what's happening?
I was interested in the story element of it.
Yeah.
I'm not particularly interested in Lego and whacking bits of Lego.
Well, no, I
'cause
like
that's
Lego,
been done
but
so many
like
times before. But the actual story looked quite interesting.
So Harley sounds like Harley. The Joker does sound like Joker.
Is it the actual voice
Yeah.
actors? Did we
Yes.
establish? Yeah,
Yes,
it sounded.
I've read
Yeah,
that.
it sounded
okay.
like them,
It's
definitely.
Mark Hamill and
Yeah, they
Kevin
all
Conroy.
sounded very much
Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
Definitely. And that was cool. So who plays Superman then? Who's the current one?
I think
I don't
is
know.
it
I've
the one,
not-
I think
I
it's
can't
the
say
one
I've
from
ever.
the
I've never really
animated
watched
series.
Superman cartoons, but it was definitely the right Batman team from the cartoons.
Right, okay.
I think it was about the Superman one as well. Maybe might be wrong.
I think Batman.
Batman's right.
Batman,
Batman is
Harley,
right.
and
Batman.
Joker, and everyone all sounded spot on, which is
Okay.
what made me think they must be the right.
Yeah,
voice
so
actors.
I was listed like I could be playing back Arkham or the
Yeah, because
Batman
they
games.
brought the right team in for that
Yeah,
as well.
so that was definitely cool. And yeah, you just playing normal Lego. Everyone has their special moves. So Harley's got a massive hammer thing that she can break things down. Joker can get henchmen to jump on each other like make a ladder so he gets other places. And it's all very colourful. I just haven't played a lot because I've been at uni and work and all that, but I will carry on with it. It's very nice.
Splendid. So, have you got anything?
Oh, heck.
Good. Gaming at Comic Con then, Anna. I know you've not been into Comic Con yet.
I have not.
You're going to be coming in there this afternoon.
Yes.
They've kind of taken huge chunks of EGX and brought it with them.
Oh, that's excellent.
It's the biggest gaming presence I've seen at Comic Con since that year, well, like 2012, that year where we came and Lollipop Chainsaw was there, and they had a load of
Was
gaming
that
stuff.
MCM?
That was Comic Con, yeah. And since then, the gaming side has constantly been getting smaller and smaller.
But is there
and
anything
smaller.
that's not out yet? Is there?
Realistically, no.
No.
Yeah, there was. They had Smash Brothers there on Switch.
Oh, yeah, they've got a Nintendo booth, so it's more... It's
Pokemon, the new Pokemon game on Switch. So
Good point.
they've bought the whole Switch section from
So it's
EGX is
Nintendo.
there.
Very
Nintendo
nice.
And PlayStation are there as well.
PlayStation.
They've got the Spider-Man model
Played it.
thing that they had at EGX.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's nothing exclusive
No,
coming out on PlayStation now
no.
for the rest of the
And
year.
then they've got the usual anime section, which is normally the only video gaming stuff there is all like
Yeah, that's all there as
all
well.
the Vita games, all the anime like Vita games are there. There's all of them sort
Yeah,
of
they're
things
trying
are
to
there.
flog that, aren't they? So.
But it is exciting that they've got the Nintendo stuff there, because in addition to having the actual Nintendo stand there, because we're now getting very, very close to Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee coming out, they've given us some special treats that's made Sheepdog very sad that he's not here. So special treat number one is, as you're walking between the DLR station and XL itself, you're walking down the street and suddenly you just walk between two massive nests. On one side of the road there's a big Pikachu nest, on the other side of the road there's an Eevee nest, and there's just loads of them in there. It's mad, the amount of Pikachu and Eevee. But the other thing that's even more fun is they've released across... I read it was across the whole of London, but we've explored quite a lot of London this weekend. I don't think it is the whole of London they've done this part.
I've seen a lot here.
I think it's within sort of a 2 or 3 mile radius of the XL. So where we're staying, there's definitely unknowns, but they've released a whole load of unknowns, which are the ones that spell different letters, and they've released unknowns. They've released unknowns to spell MCM London. So there's an MCLOND. And they've been all over East London. When we went into Central London yesterday, we didn't see any,
Nothing
did we?
at all.
Oh no. Okay.
So I think they are just they've taken over East London.
Yeah, it was very
And,
much so here yesterday.
Yeah, so Sheepdog, if you're listening, little fella, I've now got so many unknowns that you don't have.
It's funny.
Are you kidding me? He'll have been on his little forum and he'll have traded them all out. He'll have them before we will.
As far I've already got them. B, he sent me a list. When we were talking about this on Friday, when we knew it was happening, he sent me a list of the ones that he needs.
A list
this
of
is
what
Sunday.
though? Because
He already had an O, but he didn't have any of the other letters. So he told me what letters he
so
wanted.
he should just said everything but O.
Yeah, but he didn't. He was quite specific.
But
about
they
the ones he wanted.
don't have names. They're just unknowns, and
Yeah,
they're
but
different shapes.
Yeah, so he told me what shapes he wanted.
okay.
But the thing is, this is now Sunday. He's had a whole 24 hours to be... This is all he does. He will have sorted it out.
He's probably already there this
He
morning.
will have done it before you've done it. I'm telling you now. He'll have done it before me because I haven't got it.
Well, I've been in communication with him last night, and he was still panicking that because they're new letters that he's never had before, he might only be allowed to do one trade a day. So
I bet you are.
he was worrying that he won't get all of them until next weekend.
Well, he should stop having babies at MCM time.
Exactly. Yeah, Sheepdog, stop having babies at MCM time. But that's quite a nice touch, because it was actually Sheepdog himself, when we were at EGX, was grumbling about the fact that, they've got all this Pokemon stuff here, why don't they just stick a couple of Pokestops in and do something a little bit special for us so that we've got a reason to play Pokemon Go here as well. And someone must have been listening, because the next convention a month later, they've done exactly that.
He got
It is
so
cool.
grumpy because he didn't see that nut one, whatever it's called. What's it called? That one that time.
The little, I
Mel-
can't remember.
is it
The Meltan, yeah.
And he
the
got
little nut.
so... He'd said he weren't annoyed.
I know.
He was.
We've not seen anything like that this weekend.
No.
But it was definitely fun. We've been doing the Halloween task that they've got on Pokemon Go.
108 berries and now 108 Pokemon.
Grabbing our unknowns. And that's been a nice little thing. But it's good to see Comic Con really starting to push the gaming stuff a little bit more. They've also got tattoo section in there now.
That is bizarre.
There's a whole wall of tattoo artists
Oh.
where you can just go and get a tattoo done. And
What,
they've got
fake temp?
No,
real
tattoos.
tattoos.
No.
There is a real
tattoo.
People are getting tattoos.
Yeah, and they've got loads of like nerdy stuff that you can choose from if you don't
How
want to
many
have it.
people are going to be going on regretting an impulse tattoo at Comic Con?
I was thinking
You know
because
what?
I was saying to him yesterday because obviously now in the same room you've got all these comic book artists who are doing commissions
Yeah.
and tattoo artists.
You say,
So I was
"Sign
saying,
my arm."
yeah, well I'd just go to a comic book artist and say, can you draw me whatever you want? So I think I said to you, can I have Wonder Woman fighting Spider-Gwen? Go and get someone to draw that and then take it to the tattoo artist and say, right, I've just had this drawn, can you tattoo that on me please?
Yeah, definitely.
That would be so cool.
Frank Miller, sign my arm. I'm going to go and get it tattooed, and he would give you a dirty
Frank,
look.
Frank Miller's there, Anna.
Who?
Frank Miller and Chris Claremont. They've actually got some proper comic book people there now as well.
Who?
Comic book people, Anna. Proper comic book people.
Yeah.
Frank Miller, Chris Claremont.
Yeah, and for £70 you can have a picture taken with him.
You can get a £150 Frank Miller pass, which gets you a photo, an autograph, and a Q&A. I need to become Frank Miller so
at
that I can
that.
charge. Nobody can. You're doing an audio podcast, and you're getting your phone close to the mic, so it's causing interference. Yikes! But yeah, it was certainly good to see, and we will go and absolutely destroy the rest of Comic Con today as well, because we are going to be heading over there very soon to get our Comic Con on.
Yeah.
Anna, you're too far away.
Yes.
Stop playing Pokemon Go. You're recording a podcast. My word. Right, do we have anything else that we want to discuss in our little MCM weekend special, or should we wrap things
I've been
up and get
watching
back
the
over
new
there?
Sabrina.
We're not talking about Sabrina.
Do that next week, because I'll have watched it by next week.
Are you... Oh, my...
It's very good.
It's supposed to be good.
Oh,
it's supposed to be good, so I want to see it. So
I've got
we'll discuss
to
it next week.
third episode.
There you go. So you finish
very
it by next
dark.
week, and I'll finish it by next week as well.
Let's wrap this up,
Hang on a
because
minute.
we're not talking... Oh, go on, then.
We met someone in there who said this was his favourite podcast. I've forgotten his name now, but he
thank
literally
you.
came up. Kev was speaking to someone. Someone had stopped Kev, and I stepped away like I do
Yeah.
out the way, and then someone taps me on the shoulder and says, "Pab, hiya." I listen to your podcast. I watch Kev's videos, but your podcast is your
Aw.
Yeah,
favourite
apparently
podcast.
the podcast is the best thing we do as well.
Yeah, that's what he said.
All right.
That's exactly what he said.
All right, mate. Thanks. I don't get paid for this, though.
He doesn't want a picture either, apparently.
No, that was a different guy. Later on, someone came. It was just a day of getting dissed yesterday by wonderful people who didn't even realise they were doing it. But it was as we were leaving, someone kind of came charging down the corridor. Kev, I love your videos. I love your channel. It's really, really cool. And his mum's chasing after him with a camera, and she just took a step back, pointed the camera at him, and said, "Are you going to look up for a photo then?" And he just went, "Nah, you're right." And walked off.
Brilliant. That was good.
Did you get him on the vlog?
No.
It's like on the first night we got like literally here for an hour, walked outside. Are you a YouTuber? I watch your videos. Like literally the first minute we're outside.
Pab's getting famous. What can I say?
It wasn't me. That wasn't me on Friday night.
Right, let's wrap things up anyway. So, as usual, if you would like more mature gamer podcasty goodness, your best bet is probably just to follow us on Twitter. And you can follow me on Twitter at Lelujo.
I'm at Miss Leluja.
And I'm at Pab 1986.
I think there is a show account as well, but I don't think it's been used in about 3 years, so I wouldn't bother following that. Just follow us individually. Likewise with the Facebook group, I'd probably just give it a miss, because
Sheepdog patrols them both.
Yeah.
does not.
He does.
You
'cause
don't even have Facebook.
He occasionally... No, but I mean, the show accounts, Sheepdog occasionally
Okay.
tweets stuff out thinking it's him. You don't notice that?
I don't follow it.
No, Sheepdog occasionally... Well done. Sheepdog
You
occasionally
don't
tweets...
follow your own thing.
Sheepdog does
Why
do
would
it.
I follow my own podcast when I know
How do
no
you
one's
think-
tweeting out
How do you
on
think
there?
Sheepdog posts pictures of me when there's no show?
I thought he just did it himself.
No, he does it. He puts it on the show account.
Well, I've collected half a dozen of them this weekend. Little Pab Candids to send over to Sheepdog for
Well,
the
I
next
can't
time
wait.
we've got a
I
week.
bet That's why you've been in contact with him, isn't it? You're just getting sneaky pictures of me from the side somewhere. That's what you've been doing all
a
the
little
time.
bit of side tab.
Yeah.
Pab from the rear. See you next week, boys and girls.
Bye.
Thanks for listening, folks.